Okay, funny question for you. How long would you run a race that didn't have a finish line? Or what would happen if you started playing a game that didn't have any rules? That would drive me crazy. Maybe for you it would be fun, like figuring out where the finish line is or making up the rules as you go. And yet, for me, I think I would lose my mind. I think a lot of us are living our life that way when we don't have boundaries set for ourselves personally or professionally. If we don't have boundaries set in relationships or with our own physical health, it can be really scary. And some people feel like they're never making progress because they don't actually know the rules to the game of life that they are playing. Or even worse, they're playing by somebody else's rules or running someone else's race, and they're trying to get to a finish line that they aren't actually bought into. So how do we set boundaries for ourselves so that we feel fulfilled and we're getting what we want out of our life and out of our business? Well, it starts with actually sitting down and writing out what it is that you want. As elementary as that may seem, have you ever done it? Have you ever actually written down what it is that you want most for your profession, your career, your business? Have you actually sat down and written out what you want for your family or your relationship or your health? And I'm not talking about goals, I'm talking about boundaries. Like, if you cross this boundary called murder, you know you're going to go to jail for a very long time. So I'm guessing most of us have this boundary of, I don't kill people. And I'm not trying to make light of that subject, but you get the point, right? Do you have clarity on boundaries? What things you do not cross? You need them. You need them. You need them for your business. Who is it that I will and will not take on as a client? What will I and will I not invest in? How much debt am I or am I not willing to take? What will I or will I not do in my relationship? What are the non-negotiables? Those are called boundaries. So I invite you literally to just open up your calendar right now. If that means you need to pause this video because you're watching on your phone or device, go ahead, pause the video. Open up your calendar and set some time where you actually are able to do this, to create these boundaries, the rules of this game of life, the finish line that you're going toward for yourself. And once you have those boundaries, there needs to be a solemn oath that you take, a personal commitment that, you know what, this is what works for me. And if it's helpful to share that with someone that you love, or a business partner, or a best friend, do it. They need to know what those boundaries are as well, and they'll help support you in that. Just a little bit of accountability, helping you keep your word. Now, once you have those outlined, it's up to you to teach people what those are. I love this very simple principle. It says that you teach people how to treat you. And whether you like it or not, they are actually growing into the conversations that you either are or not having around them. You teach them how to treat you by what you allow, what you accept, or what you disapprove of, or what you don't allow and don't accept. So when someone's crossing one of those boundaries, you have to teach them, say, oh, hey, this is something that's really important to me. Maybe I haven't ever shared it with you. And I'm sorry that I haven't done so. Please forgive me. And yet this is really important. Wouldn't you love it if someone did that with you so you actually knew how to win with them? If you're thinking oh, I don't want to offend people, or I don't want to lose out on relationships or lose out on potential business, people actually will respect it. They don't want all of you. They don't want all of your time. They actually just want to know what to expect. And as you begin to teach them what it is that you expect and how to win with you, they will respect you more. And they'll also start to do the same thing. When you tell people that you're going on vacation, they don't think, oh my gosh, you're so lazy, you never work. They actually think, wow, I want to go on a vacation. I want to be like them. So go ahead and teach people how to treat you. Share what those boundaries are and help people win with you. Make it easy for them to build a stronger relationship. It's really, really important. There's some other fun little tips and tricks that I see people do all the time that I get to coach, and I share them with others. If you're at work and you're in an environment where there are other people around you, which is pretty common, or even if you're working from home, you can put up a little sign that says, hey, I'm doing my one thing, or I'm in my focus time until blank. Shoot me a text or an email and I'll get back to you and when I'm done. That's so simple. It's just putting up a little boundary. No one ever expects to be able to speak to their attorney when they're in the courtroom, right? Like if your attorney's in the courtroom, you know, like they're not available, and that's okay. You also know that your doctor or surgeon is not able to get back to you if they're in surgery. So you have your thing that you do. And when you're working on it and doing it, you can treat it as important as a trial or as surgery, and just let people know I'm doing my one thing. I'm working on my focus time right now until blank. And you'll be surprised. People will actually respect that. And you'll be able to not be distracted. You'll be able to keep doing what it is that you're doing that says you're holding these boundaries for yourself. That's a great way to do it at work. Now, doing it at home might be a little bit different. I learned this one from my wife. She has these sticky notes that rotate on the door, and it says, baby sleeping, or mom is sleeping, or I'm working on this, or and she's telling the kids what it is that's happening so that they understand why the door is closed or locked. That's a simple way to do it at home. You can do the same thing if you have a home office, right? So you just have to get creative. Figure out, how do I do this in a fun, loving, easy way that helps me? Another client of mine just made the decision that rather than having her desk face the glass that's in front of her, dividing her office from the hallway, she was simply going to turn her desk away from that glass that was separating her so that she didn't have to see everyone and be distracted. And so it's just a simple boundary of, I need to focus. Focus is so important, and it can be challenging if we don't have those simple ways to, build a bunker. I love that idea as well. Just bunkering yourself, right? Protecting yourself from distractions. And the do not disturb that we now use on our phones is a great way to do that. Email responses, autoresponders. There are apps that do this as well. I have one when I'm on vacation or working on something that tells people, hey, I'm going to be out of commission, like you. I'm not going to be able to connect. And that way they know that I'm not getting back to them, but I'm working on something that's important. So an autoresponder on your cell phone, certainly your email, is a wonderful way to set those boundaries and teach people how to treat you. What happens when you become really good at this? Well, you actually respect yourself more because you're taking care of you. And you're showing up better in your personal relationships at home and in work because you're not getting spread thin. You're not going through this thing where you're being distracted and you're asked to do things you don't want to do, and you're just living in integrity. And when you live in that kind of integrity, you become trustworthy, not just to other people, but to yourself. And you will like yourself more. And listen, you spend a lot of time with you, and you deserve to like that voice in your head and that person in the mirror. So do it for yourself first and foremost, and you'll find that you enjoy your life a lot more. You'll also find that others, as I've said already, they respect you, and they'll say, that's great, thank you. You'll find deeper connection, deeper relationship, deeper experiences with those that you're with. You'll also watch your stress levels decrease. You'll find greater joy. You'll be able to find moments of peace because your phone is off. I actually got 2 phones a while back. I have a business phone and I have a personal phone. And the people that I'm in business with, they know that I turn my phone off when I pull into the garage and I'm just not available. I used to just not read text, or I would not listen to voicemails after hours or on weekends, but I was still thinking about them because I would see them, and sometimes I'd read them too, but I didn't even want to read them or see them anymore. So I literally got a second phone. It's definitely worth the extra money, and people respect that about you as well. So you're going to have more peaceful moments of detachment, turning things off, and being able to keep those boundaries for yourself and play the game of life and win. And you knowing where the finish line is, you're going to be able to move forward in a way that just feels really good. You deserve it, don't you? If you don't feel like you deserve it, just take my word for it. You deserve it. You deserve to know what your boundaries are and to teach people how to treat you so they can win. So, I trust this was helpful. I would love it if you would be willing to subscribe. Every Tuesday, a new video on how it is that you can break through and how you can find what it is that's beyond any limits that are holding you back from living the greatest life that you desire. Please share this with someone that you think would benefit as well, and make it an awesome day.